Okay, so I'm finally back with a new video, and just a quick informative message. I finally figured out how to get Teespring working. I did my best to get the prices down. I even cut my profits like way down, and even then, like, hey, it is what it is. So the merchandise is gonna be at the bottom of the screen. It's gonna be in the description below. All right, done with the bullshit advertisement. So here we go, back to a video, and I'm making this video as a message to female entrepreneurs, okay? Because don't get me wrong, like I respect female entrepreneurs. But the problem is this, man. Like like I say in so many videos before, once woman's brain starts going down one path, it is damn near impossible for her to go, oh, wait a minute, I'm going down the wrong path. I need to go fix something. Like they don't fix themselves. Woman's mind would rather keep going down this path, seeing everything fuck up. She would much rather continue walking down a road full of spikes, thorns, and needles, and then go, wait a minute, I should turn back and go a more safer route. She would just, her woman's brain is just one direction. And then after that, she'll just pick and choose everybody to tell her what she wants to hear, to validate her. It's just what they do. So this video is a message for females and female entrepreneurs who 15 times out of 10 can't keep a man, okay? They can't, or if they can, he's always like 5,000 miles away on the other side of the planet type of shit. Like they can never, like it's very difficult for successful female entrepreneurs to keep a man. And it's just, and I say this in older videos, because they've become the man in the relationship. And you're going to see later in this video, pretty much her sister's going to step in, and her sister tells her like, look, you pretty much became the man. So yeah, so you got to get a feminine man now, or a woman, like, because once they end up that role as the money maker and blah blah blah, and the protector, the provider, see, that woman is stuck, especially women like in this age demographic. I can tell she's probably about 35 or some shit. Once they, and I'm not trying to diss her. This is just like, okay, how I talk, I'm going to offend people, okay? But I don't mean to be funny. Like, I mean to be serious. But in her demographic, she is in the worst demographic in the dating market because of what appears to be her success and her looks and what and what she's going to deal with, okay? Once this woman has become successful as an entrepreneur, if she is, we don't really know if she is or not, but let's just entertain her. Let's say she is, she's very successful, right? She's about 32 or 35, and she looks like this. Well, see, the only men that she can actively, truly, really like, in her mind and her vagina, actually genuinely be attracted to, are going to be all the men that can just get younger, better versions of her with less of the attitude. You see, and then now all the guys that will want her, who will truly want her and truly stick around and truly be around, all the guys that are going to want her, she's not going to want them because they're going to be beneath her. So she like this woman, like female entrepreneurs, whenever the woman becomes the man of the household, they can never keep a man. They especially a man that they really want, unless they're just flat out chasing them down the streets, just running down the street chasing after them. But anyway, I'm gonna let this video play. It's because I cut out the first minute, just her rambling. So I'm just gonna play like the next 8 minutes, and then I'm gonna go back and pause and give my thoughts on la matter. So let's begin.
So I mean, this is going to be a dating video. It's the update on my dating life. I wasn't sure how much I wanted to tell you because for the last couple years I decided to be quite private. You've seen a lot. Like, I mean, my first video ever on YouTube was me crying about like a breakup and a layoff. So I don't want to fall into that, putting your boyfriend or like girlfriend on camera and then using that as clickbait, like all of that stuff. Like, I just think it's not really healthy or conducive to a really healthy relationship. And I'm sure a lot of you could agree. So I'm going to tell you about where I'm at right now. And I've been noticing, I'm just going and dealing with a lot of things that are mentally testing me more than I would have ever predicted being a female entrepreneur. And this video is really for other women that are thinking of becoming female entrepreneurs and like running their own business, and for the men who are in relationships with them, because we're a unique bunch. So I guess the update is that I am now single. I was in a relationship for about the last like year or so, and I've probably been single for about, I don't know, maybe like 4 months, 5 months, I don't know, about that. And I dated like the greatest guy, honestly, and like, you know, there's a chance that he's watching. It's like, I will be his friend forever, he will be my friend forever. And it was, oddly enough, like, as far as like a breakup goes, it was like, I mean, we're still friends, like genuinely, and like a very mature relationship. And I learned a lot about myself because I had somebody who really like gave me everything I could have imagined. You know, his work took him like all over the world, so he would sometimes, you know, fly me around the world and be like, oh, you know, like we'd go and eat at the most beautiful like Michelin star restaurants, and he treated me with kindness and respect, and he encouraged me being a businesswoman. Now, the problem is, and what I think is really not spoken about, is how difficult it is to date at the beginning of starting your business. So I met him basically at the beginning, and
coincidentally, yeah, of course, it's.
And you know how they say like timing is everything? It's really real. I met him at a time when everything was so dependent on my like blood, sweat, tears, you know, like I had to move. I mean, I still do. But imagine this scenario. You meet the most perfect guy. It's so great to you. And like, I mean, it's a lot of girls' dream to travel and all that. And I started, like, I mean, I went to Barcelona, I went to Amsterdam, I went to Tokyo, I went to Hong Kong, like, we went to so many places. And every time, though, and even though it was such a wonderful experience, I couldn't help but feel a little bit of like, oh, but am I really giving it my all to my work? You know, like, if I don't get that deal, that's because of me. It started being like, what am I losing from going on this trip? And even though it's like this beautiful, oh my God, there's, you know, he's spending a lot of money for you to go. And it's like, I'm grateful. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, but what did that cost me? Like, did it cost me, you know, $25,000 because of this deal? Whatever it is, did it cost me potentially building a relationship with a new client that could have resulted in a deal way down the road? Like, you start thinking of all these things, and it makes it very difficult to...
That's why you're alone.
To date and allocate time.
Your number one client should be your man.
You know, like I remember hearing that it's like a lot of, like, if you're dating an entrepreneur, it's like just be prepared to be number two, because it's like that's like their kid. And I think it was like a Tony Robbins podcast or something, and he was interviewing some entrepreneurs, and they were talking about this. And it's really true. It's hard to, and as a female, like, I mean, we're supposed to be the nurturing one. We're supposed to be, you know, the backbone. Like, we're kind of trained that way, like, to be propelling these guys and, like, you know, supporting their dreams and goals. But it's like, what about our dreams and goals? And, like, you know, I feel like it's really easy to feel really guilty. You know, we're like that. We're nurturing animals.
This is sad. This is sad.
I don't know. So, like, anyways, these are sort of some things that were going through my mind. And now you know, it got too hard to keep traveling and making this work. And so I've been single. And
of course. Right.
I don't actually know now I feel like I'm a different person this time around being single. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be with somebody who's super beta. People are like, oh, you need someone who's like beta, who's just like very
Because you
nurturing for
became
you,
the man.
and like, you know, can be at home. And then some people are like, no, you need like a guy who's also just able to be like super successful, and you guys can just be like this power couple, whatever it is.
Not
I'm
gonna
like,
happen.
I have no clue, and I'm starting to like really, but I feel like I'm a really complicated person.
Like all women, yeah. You think you're
like
special.
Kind of complicated person.
Just
like
Brittany
like
Renner. You don't know my
outgoing,
story.
Going out, like, you know, always chatting and to different people, and I don't really have like a super like homey life. Because I too, like on my own, I travel a lot,
and nobody gives a fuck that you travel. That's the thing.
I guess in my head, I'm like, well, it would be nice to just have someone local. So you can go and like, you know, cook together and just like have some like nice tender moments that are like, you know, really real.
Of course.
And you can really build a life. Because actually, my last 2 relationships have been long distance.
Yeah.
And it actually works great for me because I'm like, cool, I can focus on them 1,000% when I see them, and then I can focus on me all the other days. But then all of a sudden, your stuff becomes really like higher stakes. Like the bigger you build your company, it's like higher stakes. So then you're thinking like, shit, is this person's got to be really worth it? You know, we've got like, are we getting married? Like, where's this go? Like, it just gets really overwhelming really fast because you know that you're actually sacrificing quite a bit. And yeah, so like these are some of the things that I am mentally going through that I feel like perhaps. Oh.
Here come her sister. Her sister's gonna pretty much tell her like, you need a beta bitch.
Like a few people. I'm
her
just filming a YouTube video about my dating life.
What now?
Cool.
Hey, real quick, how much y'all want to bet her sister got a man? How much y'all want to bet her sister? Because, like I say so many times in other videos, we usually, when it's more than one girl in a family, one of the girls usually fucks up as woman, and then the other girl usually sees the other one fucking up and don't go anywhere near that same direction in life. In reality, I don't know, but I bet you her sister got a boyfriend. I bet you her sister probably had a boyfriend for some years. Because that's usually the dynamic I've seen when it comes to more than one woman in one household like that.
Oh my gosh, and Abby got flowers. Yay. Guys, come say hello. What kind of guy do you think I should date?
Hello.
A beta guy or like an alpha guy?
Is beta like submissive?
Just like nurturing. Like it's
I think you need a bit of both. I think you need the right middle ground. And I think that's why you're not with someone, because it's really hard to find that.
I don't know. You tell me. I'm going to end it on that note. Abby's got beautiful flowers. See, why do I need a boyfriend? You bring me flowers.
See, okay, let me tell you guys, man. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and chime in now. This is just feminism in combination with Sex in the City. It just filled women's head with just complete nonsense. Just a complete nonsensical theory that they can have it all. They can have it all. Have it all. We can just have it all, girl, because we are women. We can get benefit as man and get all the benefits as woman with none of the consequences, girl. This is nothing but Sex in the City. Like the Sex in the City creator, she finally admitted that she's old and alone after she tried to push that image on the women. You can have it all. have sex with a bunch of men to your 30s, 40s, and then just get married to a wealthy man who travels around the world. And you can have it all, That's it. And it don't work like the reality don't work like it. Very rarely can work out that way. And that's if like these hoes really be in the right spot at the right time type of shit. And even then, they always gonna be on a chopping block. Because at the end of the day, nobody cares how much money you make. All right? And I'm trying to be serious about this talking to women, but I know how I talk and shit. But no, I don't look. Don't nobody. My dick does not get hard harder for my girl. She made $25,000 or she made $20. All right, and I'm not thinking I need to fuck the shit out of this bitch. She made $25,000. Like no, I don't know. What gets me aroused is my woman to be feminine, to be caring, to be loyal, and to be reliable. That's like don't nobody care. See all that other shit. You start to become a man with that shit. See, this is why how she stated her last 2 relationships are long distance. I'm not surprised at all because them men don't want to sit in the same house with you for longer than 2 days at a time. If they rather keep a woman who looks like this, but keep her 5,000 miles away until he gets horny or lonely. Then he'll come back and fuck with her, and then he'll bounce off to until he could find, something better that's more feminine and loving and caring, that has the characteristics of woman. That's the reality. See, I'm not surprised those men wouldn't stay with you. I'm not surprised those men were long distance relationships. All right, yeah, the motherfucker probably flew. It's not that it's not that expensive to fly a bitch. Once you are successful as a grown man, it's about a $1,500 plane flight, usually at worst. All right, and if he's already there, he ain't got to pay for extra for your lodging or nothing like that. So it's really not that expensive. You see, she's trying what she's trying to do is she's trying to make up for her failure as woman. So see, this is what women do, man. Once these women fail as woman, they try to make up with it by making it a dick measuring contest. Like, in other words, like how much I got somebody to spend on me. You see, what I got a man to do for me. Like once they fail as woman, they have to do they run to that to revalidate their worth in the world. Like, well, I must be worth it if he'll pay for my plane ticket to fly me out, or if he put me to Michelin star restaurants. You see, like no, like that shit don't matter. Like, see. The reality of it is he did that because that's how he rolls. He didn't give a fuck about her. That's the reality, y'all. That's the reality. Okay, because I damn near run the same way. Okay, I do shit because, okay, like for example, me and my girl right now, I love sushi. All right, I took my girl to a sushi spot, not because I thought she would like sushi. I took her because I wanted to go eat sushi and she could come along and she would like. And she came, and you know what? She doesn't like sushi. So she picked out all the raw sushi from the sushi roll and just ate the rice and, what's the avocado and shit. But hey, and I told her I loved her for it because she didn't try to pretend to like it, because that's what, feminist media wants women to do. Feminist media wants women to pretend they like anything that looks or sounds expensive. Vis-a-vis, what's her name? Rachel David. Same shit. See, the man, that guy who flew her out, he did that because he wanted to do it. But see, he did not do that for her. He did that for him. See, that's where she gets. But see, deep down she knows it. But she has to these women are constantly fighting themselves mentally because, like I said, once they figured out they failed as woman in the dating market, like. They're not submissive. They're not very feminine. She's cute. I give her that. She's like a cute version of Amy Winehouse. I give her that. But as woman and Sex in the City and these fucking feminist movies, they don't teach women how to act in reality with men in the dating market. So she probably doesn't even know how to act with these men. Because the last two men stayed 5,000 miles away from her. So I mean, what? Do I even want to live with her? See, because her person, so as long as she just sits there as skinny, healthy woman who took a bath, dudes are gonna try to fuck her. All right, and the dude who flew her out, you keep somebody like this in your rotation when when you're on a slow day, slow week, slow month, or something like that, and you get her to you, just you call her Uber to your place or whatever the fuck, just to get her over, just to look at her and fuck her a couple times. But see, this type of woman she's not a bad woman. That's the thing, but she is so confused in her place in the world as woman to where she's just not desirable. Okay, she's not a bad woman. I wouldn't call her a bad woman, but she's not desirable, especially to the men that she really wants. So we're gonna go back and play through the fucking clips, man, and I'm gonna pause it when I feel like speaking my mind.
A dating video. It's the update on my dating life. I wasn't sure how much I wanted to tell you because for the last couple years I decided to be quite private. You've seen a lot. My first video ever on YouTube was me crying about a breakup and a layoff. So, I don't want to fall into that. Putting your boyfriend or girlfriend on camera and then using that as clickbait, all of that stuff. I just think it's not really healthy or conducive to a really healthy relationship.
No, that's not what it is. No, what that is okay. She at that point she knew that she couldn't keep a man too long. So if she had to put a man on screen with her, see, this is how women see that shit. If she had to put a man on screen with her and then the man ain't come back around, or was another man next week, she'd have to explain that shit. That's what woman sees in that shit.
And I'm sure a lot of you could agree. So I'm going to tell you about where I'm at right now. And I've been noticing I'm just going and dealing with a lot of things that are mentally testing me more than I would have ever predicted being a female entrepreneur. And this video is really for other women that are thinking of becoming female entrepreneurs and like running their own business, and for the men who are in relationships with them.
Okay, first of all, let's say I'm gonna start right here. If you're a woman who's thinking about being an entrepreneur, you're gonna have to entertain the fact that there's gonna be a very low chance you're gonna be able to keep a man that you actually want, because it's the dynamics of how man and woman interpersonal roles and relationships have to be exchanged properly. Okay, now the second part is the men who date them. Let's be clear: there's not many men who's dating female entrepreneurs for too long. All right, I'm willing to bet. I'm sure there's a statistic out there that shows most women who claim themselves to be entrepreneurs are single and have dating problems. All right. So there's not many men dating these women. Yeah.
Because we're a unique bunch.
No, you're not.
So I guess the update is that I am now single. I was in a relationship for about the last like year or so, and I've probably been single for about, I don't know, maybe like 4 months, 5 months, I don't know, about that. And I dated like the greatest guy, honestly. Yep. And like, you know, there's a chance that he's watching. It's like, I will be his friend forever. He will be my friend forever.
Okay, see, I wanted to stop it the first time through. He will be my friend forever. I'll be his friend forever. What that translates to from woman's perspective is this. She knew that he could do better than her. That's the only reason why she dated him in the first place. She knew that he could do better than her. And he probably started getting distance and all that shit like that. So the fact that he was better and left her, she can always be his friend. You see? But now, had she left him first, she'd just been like, oh, we broke up, it's over, it's done. You know? But see, the fact that he was better than her, that's the only reason why she would date him anyway. Let's just be clear about it. If he was doing worse than her or equals her, she would have been super hesitant, if not just not dating him at all. So he was better than her, okay? And she knew it. And in that entrepreneur world where you live your own lifestyle and you do whatever the fuck you want to do, he can do better than her, okay? So the fact that she phrases, I'll always be his friend, and I don't know if he's watching, she's trying to keep that door open. She is almost same thing as like Vivica Fox with 50 Cent. Like Vivica is sitting around crying herself to sleep. Fucking, she's sitting around crying herself to sleep because waiting on 50 to come back and fuck with her. That's what she's doing because her time is up. Okay, her time is up and she knows it. And that's relatively, she's the same thing.
And it was oddly enough, like, as far as like a breakup goes, it was like, I mean, we're still friends, like genuinely, and like,
yeah, right, because he left first. That's why.
Very mature relationship.
Yeah. Remember this, man. If you leave a woman first, if you leave a woman first, she'll be talking like this. Now, if she had left him first, they can't be friends. None of that. You see, this is how you know he left her first.
And I learned a lot about myself because I had somebody who really like gave me everything I could have imagined. You know, his work took him like all over the world, so he would
Sex in the
sometimes,
City lifestyle, yeah.
You know, fly me around the world and be like, oh, you know, like we'd go and eat at the most beautiful like Michelin star restaurants, and he treated me with kindness and respect, and he encouraged me being a businesswoman.
And you hear it's all me. He did this, me. He did this for me. Me. I did. He flew me out. Me. We ate. Me. We did this, but he did it for me. Me. That's why she's alone. Me. She said me 50,000 times, and we'll hear her talk for 2 minutes. We ain't heard what she did. We ain't hear one thing that she did for him. Well, we know what she did for him. She fucked him and sucked his dick. and stayed skinny and took a bath. That's why she was getting flown around the world, right? This is why I say, like, see, let them keep talking. You'll pick up on the little signs that's gonna give it away. She has not said throughout this whole video. She has not said what she has done, what she has tried to offer. What does she offer? Caring, loving, genuine feminine characteristics, other than standing there and being woman. Me. He flew me, and let's be real. And to be honest about it, He did not do this for you. See, this is where, especially women like this, who are like secretly praying and hoping that their Prince Charming will come and, do all this shit for him. This man did not do this for you. He did this because this was his lifestyle. And you was trying to hop on that lifestyle and carry that shit on. He did not do this for you. So in most cases, when men start doing shit like this, they flying around, they do eating at these nice places and shit like that. They are not doing it for you. They're doing it because it's how they roll in life. You see? That's why they're doing it. But like I said, once a woman has understood that she has failed as woman, she has to do any mental gymnastics to validate her worth in the dating market. And then usually the next step is, what did a man spend on me?
Now, the problem is, and what I think is really not spoken about, is how difficult it is to date at the beginning of starting your business. So I met him basically at the beginning.
And this is a coincidence too. See, I'm willing to bet, because I don't know her personally, obviously, but I'm willing to bet how she met him when she when she was humble. She was the most humble by starting her new business, and she's probably fucked up with money and had low self-esteem, and she reached out and grabbed the first man who looked like, he was clean and dressed well, and just rolled his fucking coattails till she fell off. It's a coincidence. It's such a coinky dink that she found him when she was at her look. When you starting as an entrepreneur, you starting with nothing. Usually, unless you got some type of grant or something, which doesn't happen very often. You're starting at the bottom of the bottom. You have no self-esteem. You don't know if people will like you or you'll pay for your shit, whatever the fuck. You see, so it's a real big coinky dink. She found him at that time period. Do the math. It's a real big coinky dink. D-U-D-A-F. Do the math. It's a real big coinky dink. She found him in that time period. See, she didn't find him when she was. See, no, she didn't find him when she was successful and already eating at Michelin restaurants on her own. You see, she was a flying around the world on her own at this point. She met him when she was starting at the lowest point of being an entrepreneur, which is when you starting this shit. That's a real big coinky dink, like Steve Urkel used to say. When a coinky dink.
And
do the math.
And you know how they say timing is everything?
Yeah, timing is everything.
It's
Yeah.
real.
It's real. It's real. When you have no money and a man comes along with money and he sees a nice pair of tits and a nice ass and wants to fuck you, the timing, it's so uncanny. Oh my gosh. Who would have thought? Get the fuck out of here.
I met him at a time when everything was so dependent on my blood, sweat, tears,
Mm-hmm.
I had to move. I mean, I still do. But imagine this scenario. You meet the most perfect guy. He's so great to you. And it's a lot of girls' dream to travel and all that. And
So she now I think she's falling into hoe territory now. Cause let do the math. She was fucked up. She had nothing. She met a man who fly around the world. She was a prostitute. And she don't even see it. She was a hooker. You're a hook. She was a hooker and didn't even realize it.
And I started I went to Barcelona, I went to Amsterdam, I went to Tokyo, went to Hong Kong, we went to so many places.
Oh, I know.
And
but you didn't do it on your own. But maybe I hope she was doing it on her own before. That would give her more credibility. But the fact that she's got to bring all this up coincidentally when this guy's doing it, it's not making you look any better, love. To men, it's not making. Now to other women, to other lonely older women who's trying to compete with their value in the market, you can probably impress them with this shit. But to men who are doing the math on it, is looking a lot like prostitution. What a coinky dink.
every time, though, and even though it was such a wonderful experience, I couldn't help but feel a little bit of like, oh, but am I really giving it my all to my work? You know, like, if I don't get that deal, that's because of me.
Yeah. See, and this goes back to the core part. See, what she realized, what women in this position realize is this. They don't think, like I said, see, women, like, they didn't come up with the term beta, alpha, red pill, and all that shit. See, they didn't. Women just operate. Men, we attached words, and definitions to this shit. So okay, woman just operates. So what woman does in this situation is this: she's not thinking, but it's in her soul. Like, she knows, like, okay, I have failed as woman. So how do I make myself valuable? I know. I'll start associating money to my name. You see, that's the next step. So when she said, I feel like I'm not giving my all to my company. See, she at this point, she's aware that she has failed as woman, for man. So now it's I must show my value, how valuable I am, by the amount of money I have. So because I secretly think that man will recognize me for my money, and then a man with more money will take me in and love me forever. She's trying to beat the system, like Tommy Loren, just a Tommy Loren. She's trying to beat the system, but now she's starting to get milked. What do you call that shit? She's starting to get milked out. She's starting to get filtered out because she's just aging out. Yeah, that's what's happening. That's what happened.
It started being like, what am I losing from going on this trip? And even though it's like this beautiful, oh my god.
What are you losing from going on this trip? You go on a trip and you be a great woman, but see, you don't know how to, because you probably never had to be. Especially if you came from America, which your accent sounds American, you never had to be a decent woman, so you don't even know how to do it.
There's, he's spending a lot of money for you to go.
And when I say decent, I'm not talking like she's a bitch, but decent in the sense of like genuinely getting along with man. In the same, because she already told you her past history. The last 2 relationships, them men was 5,000 miles away from her at all times. She don't no man will stay around her.
And it's like,
okay, because let's do the math on this shit. If that man who flew her out wanted her to stay around her, he would have went out and tried to keep her around him. He would just, like I told my girl, like, look, I don't want you to work full time. I want you to work part time, and I want you to be happy as a woman. You see, like if you want that girl, like if a man wants a woman, he's gonna make it clear he wants her to stay around and live with him. So what it sounds like to me is this: the man kept flying her around, and he, like, at first he would kind of like her, but then her butch dominant side started coming out. He's like, nah, I can't live with that shit, and he let her go, and then probably hit like another slow streak for because he's traveling, so he probably hit a slow streak. 2 or 3 weeks, fly the bitch out again, to try it again, and then she'd come out, first she'd be, happy woman, but then her manly side would come out. I gotta make this deal. What do I do? And like, okay, get the fuck out again. And that was the rotation. So he just finally said, fuck it. I can't do nothing with this. You're a fucked up woman. I can't do nothing with this. Discarded. That's what it sounds like to me.
Grateful. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, but what did that cost me? Like, did it cost me, $25,000 because of this deal? Did it whatever it is? Did it cost me potentially building a relationship with a new client that could have resulted in a deal way down the road? Like, you start thinking of all these things, and it makes it very difficult to date and allocate time.
See, this is sad. I'll be honest with y'all. This is sad. Like, her whole purpose and reasoning as woman is completely lost. Allocating time. Okay, look, your husband, your man should be your number one client. All them other motherfuckers, they come and go as they please. All right? See, this woman, she is going to die alone. She's going to die alone, or if she gets married, she's going to get married to some man that either he's just going to flat out dog her out and disrespect her, but that's the best she can do, or she'll marry a guy who she just won't respect at all. This is sad. I can tell you where this is ending. This is really sad, and her life is going to end. Let's hear that back. Think if anybody's still watching, listen to this as a man looking for a good woman to live with, and that feeling you get in your stomach and chest, like, ooh, like, yeah, she is fucked up. This is what feminism and old bitter women do to young women who had any chance in life to succeed as women. She fell for that shit, hook, line, and sinker.
Potentially building a relationship with a new client, because I'm grateful. But then in the back of your mind, you're like, but what did that cost me? Like, did it cost me, $25,000 because of this deal? Did it whatever it is? Did it cost me potentially building a relationship with a new client that could have resulted in a deal way down the road? Like, you start thinking of all these things, and it makes it very difficult to date and allocate time.
And everything she's saying, her whole existence as woman is fucked up. This is fucked with a capital F. Fucked. Not in the sense that she's like a thought or a hoe, nothing like that. But she, okay, well, kind of, because if you do the math of her flying around the world and shit like that, she does fall into a hoe category there. But okay, where she's really fucked up though is her priorities as woman. Bitch, this motherfucker just flew you out there to be his woman, and you concerned about some client that ain't gonna give a fuck about you 7 days from now. Your priorities are fucked. You need to go and learn how to be a fucking, take a home economics class or some shit and learn how to be a fucking, because you're a man. The reason why you have so many problems in dating is because you have the body of a woman, you have the smile and hair of a woman, but your brain is a man. And when a man has to sit up and live with you any longer than after he fucked you or sat down and ate with you so you couldn't talk because you were shoving food in your mouth, and when he has to actually hear what you have to say, it's like, ugh. Okay, and in case y'all think I'm dogging women out, like I said before, it's the same thing the other way around. Now, let's flip the fucking table. Let's say a man is on here, you know, he's crying. He goes, "Oh my God, I just love The Notebook. It was just so emotional. Don't you just love how Jack loved Rose and and then they go here, oh, well, my struggles in dating and any bitch look at him and say, yeah, because you a bitch. Become a man. Any woman will tell you this flat out because you need to become a man." Any woman on the planet, if they see, me, AD, I was on here talking about some, oh, you know, I just love looking at purple orchards in the morning, and don't you just love chocolate and chocolate and orange slices in the shower? I just love to take a nice relaxing bath with candles lit around the bath. A bitch would hear and be like, man, this motherfucking bitch made punk, you need to become a man. It's the same shit. It's the same shit. Women like this became men, and in the situation where I use myself as an example, I became woman. So the opposite sex don't want you like that. Now, if I had some money and I was like model attractive, just like her, a woman would come around and try to fuck with me for a while, but she'll eventually cut it off. Why? Because my brain would be woman. I could look like motherfucking Thor in his prime. All right, I could look like Thor in his prime with $10 billion, but if my brain is on, oh, I just love eating croquettes in the morning and lighting candles around the bathtub, bitches like they would try, but they'd eventually have to go, no, I'm good, because my brain is woman. And see, that's where these women fucked up, because her brain is a man. This whole last rant sounds like some shit some man said in a fucking what they call that shit? Motivational speech. Everything she says in this last part sounds exactly like a man. Sounds exactly like what a man would say in a motivational speech.
Potentially building a relationship with a new client that could have resulted in a deal way down the road. Like, you start thinking of all these things, and it makes it very difficult to date and allocate time.
Yeah, see, that's what men say. That's what a man does. He has to properly allocate time. See, you supposed to be like to be woman. Well, like I said in older videos, women do not know how to be loving and caring. Most women have to learn how to be loving and caring from a book. Most women do not have empathy, love, or care for anybody but themselves. All right, period. They have to learn it from a book. So she had to learn. She should have learned how to become these things at a younger age. It's over. It's over for her. It's over. Okay, whatever man she's gonna get, she's gonna know he's not really gonna want her. All right, for real. That's fucked up to say, but that's the truth.
I think they, like, I remember hearing that it's like a lot of, like, if you're dating an entrepreneur, it's like, just be prepared to be number two, because it's like that's like their kid. And I think it was like a Tony Robbins podcast or something, and he was interviewing some entrepreneurs, and they were talking about this. And it's really true. It's hard to, and as a female, like, I mean, we're supposed to.
Okay, what this is? Yeah. She wants to be loved and cared for without actually loving and caring anybody. You see, that's what she just said right there. Like, it's really true. It hurts to be number two, blah, blah, blah. But most women do like that. Like, when women fall into being women, they like to be, at best, number three in your life, for real. But she doesn't even realize that she's become a man. And then on top of that, she's expecting, this undying. See, her gender roles have been completely flipped. She's expecting loving and caring and being put number one from the man that she wants. You see, but see, that's the gender role flip. Because like with my girl, she'll stop the fucking world for me. I'm and that's the proper order. To a woman, when she likes you, you are going to be number one to her. She will stop everything for you. But see, like her gender role is flipped. She thinks the man is supposed to do that for her because she's become the man now. You see? And it doesn't work, especially with the men that she wants. It's not going to work like that.
To be the nurturing one. We're supposed to be, the backbone. Like, we're kind of trained that way, like, to be propelling these guys and, like, supporting their dreams and goals. But it's like, what about our dreams and goals? And, like, I feel like it's really easy to feel really guilty. We're just...
Okay, well, yeah, okay, yeah, the dreams and goals part. Okay, a lot of men don't want to have to be that protector, and all that shit. A lot of men, like, they don't want to have to face that reality. But see, it's the reality. But see, when it benefits woman, she don't care nothing about that reality. Like, fuck that. You just got to be man, and I just come along and ride your coattails. You see, a lot of men would rather, like, sit up and play PlayStation all day, and and just worry about looking good, dressing well, and shit like that. But men have to grow to that in order to ever pull a woman. But like I said, women don't think about it in that way. Woman only thinks about herself. Most women do not have the capacity to think for anybody but themselves. So like with your goal, your goal is the same shit. Maybe you did want to be an entrepreneur, blah blah blah. But to succeed as woman, you got to learn how to be loving and caring. But see, now that's a problem. But like when man had to learn how to be this, protector and put himself, second and third for his family and shit like that, it wasn't a problem for women. No, because man's just supposed to be man. But see, when it comes time for a woman to learn how to be woman, oh, that's too much work. I gotta think. Nah, I'm cool. I just do what I want to do. Which worked when women like this were 19 or 20. But when they start hitting 30, 35, it's not gonna work anymore.
We're like that. We're nurturing animals. But I don't know. So like, anyways, these are sort of some things that were going through my mind, and now it got too hard to keep traveling and making this work, and so I've been single. And
of course, right. And that does look. She sped through that real quick. Okay, like I said earlier, if that man wanted her, he would have talked her into living with him, and she could do that shit from whatever she's doing, she could do it online. All right, if she's that fucking smart in 2008, this was made in 2018. If she's that smart in 2018, she could whatever business she had, she could have done it from online and stayed with him. He didn't, like I said earlier, he left her first. That's why, I'll always be his friend and blah blah blah, because he left her. I was tired of traveling and blah blah. Look, if he wanted you, he would have made it clear he wanted you and wanted you to live with him, and y'all would have figured out your business second. Y'all would have figured that out. Okay? He didn't want her. That's what it was. And she's trying to keep throwing out there, well, I just got traveling, expensive food. She's trying to throw it out there to revalidate herself as woman again. You gotta learn how to read on that. You really gotta learn how to read them, for real.
I don't actually know. Now I feel like I'm a different person this time around being single. Like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be with somebody who's super beta. People are like, oh, you need someone who's like beta, who's just like very nurturing for you and like, can be at home. And then some people are like, no, you need like a guy who's also just able to be like super successful and you guys can just be like this power couple, whatever it is.
Yeah. See that latter. She can get that when she was 23. To be a power couple with a man who's already like blah 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 da da da. Yeah, when she was 23, she could have got that. She knows she can't get that at 35. It's a very low. I mean, she could, but like, no, it's a very low chance of that shit happening, son. Very low chance. Yeah, so she, like I said, any man she's gonna end up with, she is not gonna like. Period.
And I'm like, I have no clue, and I'm starting to like really, but but I feel like I'm a really complicated person, like kind of complicated person to date, you know, like super outgoing, going out, like, you know, always chatting and to different people, and
Yeah, oh, that's bad.
I don't really have like a super like homey life.
Yeah.
Because I too, like on my own, I travel a lot, and
Nobody cares. Okay, no, nobody cares that you travel other than other old, bitter women. Those are the only people who care that you travel. There is not one dick on this planet that's like, oh, she travels? Maybe I should talk to her. No. All right? Nobody cares. But see, like I said, she keeps trying to throw this shit out to revalidate her worth in the fucking market. Motherfucker, I travel all the goddamn time. I don't keep bringing, or I got my college degrees, and I got 4 college degrees. I'm not bringing that shit up every 10 seconds in a video. See, she's doing it because she's trying to revalidate her worth constantly. But she knows her worth has plummeted.
I guess in my head, I'm like, well, it would be nice to just have someone local, so you can go and like, you know, cook together and just like have some like nice tender moments that are like, you know, really real, and you can really build a life. Because actually,
no, you ain't built for that. You ain't built for building no kind of life now, because you tasted better wine. So any man who's like, you know, Kroger wine, or with like Bella wine, depending on where you are, Bella wine or Kroger wine, or, you know what I'm saying, Lidl wine, like, she ain't got no time for that. Woman's brain cannot go backwards. She's done. This poor girl is done. She D-U-N, done. I should make a shirt that says D-U-N. This poor girl is done. She went too far. She tasted too much better wine, and like most women, they cannot turn around and go back once they went down one path. But the sad part is, their biological value always goes downhill after that shit. So they just end up miserable.
My last 2 relationships have been long distance,
Mm-hmm.
and it actually works great for me, because I'm like, cool, I can focus on them 1,000% when I see them, and then I can focus on me all the other days. But then all of a sudden, your stuff becomes really like higher stakes. Like the bigger you build your company, it's like higher stakes, higher stakes.
Yeah, and see, like, that company ain't gonna come give you soup when you sick. That company's not gonna want you to come see its soccer game, you know what I'm saying, after school. That company don't give a fuck about you. Her priorities are fucked. Thank you, Sex and the City and Feminism. That's what it, because like the bitch who made Sex and the City admitted to it in an article. She fucked up in life, and now she's alone. She still has some hope, because she knows she can look a little cute if she dresses up. She still has some hope in herself, but I mean, the hope is gone for anybody who knows reality. This is sad. This is just sad.
So then you're thinking like, shit, is this person's gotta be really worth it, you know? And we've got like, are we getting married? Like, where's this going? Like, it just gets really overwhelming really fast, because you know that you're actually sacrificing quite a bit. And yeah, so like,
now you ain't sacrificing. It's to order your priorities. Them jobs, them clients, them motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. Your man would, all right? But them motherfuckers, like I said, they ain't gonna bring you a sandwich when you hungry. They ain't gonna make sure you got covers. They ain't gonna, them clients ain't gonna make sure you warm in the winter and cool in the summer. Them clients don't give a fuck about you. But you chasing that money, trying to revalidate your failure as woman in dating market, baby. That's what you're doing. And it's just making it worse. You gotta let that go. Don't nobody care about how much money you got. All right? But I know what you're doing for real, because you think, because in your mind, you think the more money you get, you're gonna attract a better, higher man to come like he's gonna just see it and be like attracts like, and we can click and we'll get married and have kids together. No, it ain't gonna work like that. Leave that shit alone. That's not what men are looking for. It's the same thing like when men try to take duck face selfies and try to pretend to be girls' friends and then try to have sex with them. He don't never get sex out of them. It's the same shit, because he tried to become like them, thinking he was gonna beat the system, and he failed every time doing it. You gotta let that money shit go. Let that ambition money shit go and learn how to be a caring, loving woman. And then you might make some progress. But you gotta let that shit go. You gotta let it go.
these are some of the
Because you became a man.
things that I am mentally going through that I feel like perhaps.
Or come her sister now.
Oh, hello, my sister's here. Perhaps like a few people. I'm just filming a YouTube video about my dating life.
Cool.
Oh my gosh! And Abby got flowers.
Yay.
Guys, come say hello. What kind of guy do you think I should date?
Hello.
A beta guy or like an alpha guy?
Is Betta like submissive?
Just like nurturing.
We can
Got
say
it.
that. I I think you need a bit of both. I think you need the right middle ground. And I think that's why you're not with someone, because it's really hard to find that.
So see, yeah, with a woman, guys, it was hard to find out. See, like I'm making fun of her. I ain't mean it. I just felt like I had to do it. But see, like that was nice woman talk for. You're a bitch with unreasonable standards. That's what that was.
I don't know. You tell me. I'm gonna end it on that note. Abby's got beautiful flowers. See, why do I need a boyfriend? You bring me flowers. Yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. And again, like, let me know if you like these kind of videos where I just sit and talk to you about. Like,
let's look at this shit. I'm actually wondering how old this bitch is. Time to buy a cat. Damn, somebody roasted her before I did. 1 year ago. Time to buy a cat, Rachel. Let's read this shit. LOL. Yeah. Fantastic advice can't help. A sophisticated woman needs cats. Which. Yeah, man. Look, this shit. So I'm gonna end it off here, man. This is a message to female entrepreneurs. Nobody gives a fuck about how much money you make. And it's just like that. And to make it clear, let's flip it, because I know what women are looking for in men. So, and not one woman cares about how emotional a man is. If anything, it's a negative when you're looking for a man and for him being emotional. It'd be pretty much the same thing, all right? If a man says, "Oh well, I'm just so awesome because I'm emotional," and I'm thinking like, "Oh well, should I watch this movie and cry, or should I watch that movie and learn from Joe when he tries to get Sasha's hand in marriage?" Like, it's the same shit. Like, see, like, it might be your hobby, but that's not going to attract the opposite sex, all right? Nobody cares about how much money you got. Nobody cares. Now, there's not one dick on this planet that cares about how much money you got, how many clients you got, how you allocate time properly. No, all that shit, if anything, in most cases, when it comes time for a man to genuinely desire you, is going to work against you. You being talkative to everybody in the restaurant, club, and shit like that. No, all of that is man shit. That's what attracts you. But men are not attracted to a woman with those qualities. There's always going to be like a handful sometime. But for the most part, most men are genuinely not going to be like genuinely attracted to this mentality of woman. So I mean, take that as you will, man. But yeah, again, the Patreon. Well, the Patreon shit's there, and I'm gonna put the links to like coffee cups and like other accessories in the link in the description below, and there's gonna be another link for t-shirts and shit, because it's finally up on Teespring. So I appreciate anybody who supports me, anybody who even knows the first letter of my YouTube name, or even recognizes my face when you see me on this shit. I appreciate everything, man. Really, I really do. And yeah, so have a good day.